in various levels. Dr. Rao published 70 research papers in various national, international peer review high impact factor, Scopus and UGC CARE list of journals. Dr. Rao presented 45 research papers in several national, international conferences. He delivered many keynote addresses, performed as chairman, technical sessions, resource person, and a chief guest, delivered inaugural address for several internationally reputed conferences. Dr. Rao authored 4 textbooks. He is a research guide for PhD scholars in several universities in the country, including Osmania University, Hyderabad. Under his guidance, 3 PhD awarded. Dr. Rao is an external examiner for several universities for their repute. Dr. Rao has submitted 2 research projects to the University Grant Commission, New Delhi. Dr. Rao received 4 Best Teacher Award for his excellence in academic record, which includes Telangana State Government Best Teacher Awardee 2016. Dr. Rao is a member of editorial board for 25 national and international journals for various countries. And he is a member in various professional bodies also, and he is a resource person for various universities such as IGNOU, Ambedkar Open University, Annamalai University for management students. He is associated with examinations, evaluation, and assessment activities in various levels of academics in universities, autonomous and affiliated colleges. Recently, during the pandemic lockdown situation, he delivered several speeches as spokesperson in many webinars on skill development, mentoring, counseling, online education, and national educational policy 2020. So, Dr. Rao, I welcome you on the behalf of the Generation of Education Impression Roorkee, and you're welcome, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Over to you, sir.
Fine, madam. Thank you very much, Dr. Garma, madam, Garma Sharma ji.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the introduction about me. I really thankful for the Generation Educational Impressions Roorkee, Uttarakhand, and I really appreciate the organizing of the faculty development program pertaining to this research methodology and scientific components for an empirical study in research. This is a wonderful topic, and it's a need of the hour, because research, as all of you know, the research is very important for an academician, because the academician have to balance the academics and research together. He has to travel with it together, and then only good inputs can be delivered to the students' community as far as academics are concerned. And as far as society is concerned, there's a responsibility as an academician, as a researcher in the field of academics. We have a responsibility that various problems that we can encounter, social problems, so many problems day by day that we can witness. So all these problems are to be addressed with an appropriate recommendations, solutions. These are all very important. We have to show, we, the community of teaching faculty, have to show a direction to the society, to the government on various issues, the solutions that are to be given to the government and to the society, so that what happens, the people or the beneficiaries, whoever is associated with the problems or whoever is encountering the problem, various problems, whoever is encountering, they get benefit out of the research findings. So that is the reason we as an academician have to conduct regularly research activities so that we can deliver a proper inputs to the society, as I mentioned a few minutes back, to the students and to the society, because innovations comes only from the research on. So that is why if you want to teach the students in a innovative manner, skills, if you want to extend it to the students' community, means research is simultaneously very important. So without taking much of time, let us directly enter into the today's topic, that is significance or need of research, review of literature, and how it has to be prepared. So on that basis, on that topic, I will give you certain inputs. All of you, maybe the academicians are there in the participants group, and research scholars also, I think, might be there. Many of you are. So whatever inputs within the duration is given to me for 1 hour. During the duration of 1 hour period, I can give you certain inputs, because we can talk on review of literature or any component of research. In research, there are many components are there. Any component on research, we can talk minimum of 2 to 3 hours. But because of the time constraints and all that, I will let us confine to certain areas which are very important as far as the review of literature component is concerned. Now, please wait. And one more thing, I'd like to thank the convener. I would like to thank the convener, Dr. Garima Sharmaji, for conducting excellently this EFDP program. And I would also thank Jensen Educational Impressions, Roorkee, Uttarakhand. So please bear with me a few seconds so that I will share the screen so that all of you can hear. We'll start. 1 second. Is it visible, please?
Yes, sir.
Is it visible?
No, sir.
Sir, you are only visible.
Is it not visible?
No, sir.
1 second. One second, please wait. 1 second. Is it visible, please?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, it is visible now.
Sir, it is visible.
Yes, sir.
One second. One second. Okay. Okay. Yeah. I hope it is visible to everybody.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, as I told you, today's topic is on significance of review of literature and its preparation. You have already introduced me, so there is no need to again introduction myself. Now, the content outline, when you just check it, we have the literature review, the meaning and all that. And the second point, what I would like to give you is that the need and purpose of review of literature, functions of literature review, and then review of literature, framing research questions. And then next you have where to collect review of literature, sources for literature review, types of sources of knowledge that will look into it, critical search of the sources of a review of literature, and you have the structure and organization of the reviews, methods of writing research, methods of writing review of literature. We'll talk about while writing of review of literature. Next, while writing review of literature, what are the necessary steps that we have to take is to going to discuss the recording of your reading review of literature with regard to next language in a review of literature. Going to be, these are the outline contents that going to be discussed. Now, when you come to the concept of review of literature, the review of literature gives the researcher a comprehensive idea on a topic, on an area that the researcher carrying out to conduct a study on various problems. Of course, there are various problems, as I mentioned a few minutes back, and various problems the researchers tries to conduct or choose one of the area of his interest, and on that he will try to conduct. He will conduct a study. So before he conduct a study on a particular aspect, first of all, the researcher should have a comprehensive idea. So that comprehensive idea only the researcher gets out of the review of literature. So that is why what I would like to tell you is, or submit to you, the review of literature is a heart of the research, we can say, because review of research from review of literature only, many components are the research components related to that particular area of problem or area of interest of the researcher will be developed. So the development of study, means the various the analysis part, hypothesis, or you can methodology, and all these things, and problem identification, gaps, and then research questions. These are all things that can be developed only you as a researcher, we are as a researchers should have a comprehensive idea. That's what I'm telling you. So the comprehensive idea only we get through literature review. That is why for PhD scholars, guides usually advise the scholars to go through a lot of abundant or volume of literature of review. Why? Because the scholar has to get a comprehensive idea on the topic, whatever he has chosen, or the area of interest, whatever he has chosen. So that is why this review of literature gives a wide, the ideology to the scholar, or for that matter, even a researcher, whoever is conducting a study on a particular problem, on a particular issue, he should also, first of all, he should have some idea, basically. Definitely will be having some idea. So that idea will not be sufficient. So that idea has to be enhanced or upgrade. That upgradation of idea or enhancement of idea gets by the researcher or the PhD scholar only when he goes through the literature review. So that is why literature review or review of literature has got a lot of, the importance or significance. Now come to there is a distinction between literature review and review of literature. Usually researchers will think that, or PhD scholars thinks that both are same, but both are not same. There's a difference between these two. What is literature review and what is the review of literature? What is the distinction between these two means? See, literature review is a comprehensive in nature. There will be no limits. The idea is broad. Under this, the broad idea will be there. You can conduct all kinds of research under it, no limitations will be there. But when you confine a particular problem, and if you want to conduct a research on that particular area or a problem of your interest or area of your interest when you are conducting a study, then you want to go through, you have to go through the literature related to that particular problem. You don't want to, you are not supposed to go through many literature which is not confined to your problem. So the point is here, what I would like to submit before you is, under review of literature, area will be specific and should be particular and is systematic, limited to a particular topic. So the limitations also will be there for this. So that is the difference we can, or distinction that we can draw about. So literature review and review of literature. For a PhD scholar, review of literature. We're not supposed to mention that literature review. It's a review of literature. So that's like that. Now, when you come to the in-depth information, it is to recognize review and research. This review of literature, recognize, review, and research. What does it mean? Recognize means you are, as a researcher, as a scholar, recognize or identify a particular problem, first of all, of your own interest only. It's not that somebody has to give you the topic or information or the title. PhD scholars generally will come to us and they will ask about the title and all. No, I never suggest them any title. I will ask them, what is your interest? According to their interest, we have to guide as a guide. So that is the first of all, the researcher, the scholar or the researcher has to find out various problems, as I mentioned. One of the problems which is his area of interest that has to be recognized, and then it has to be reviewed. Reviewed in the sense there are in the past many studies on the same subject might have conducted. So those studies have to be reviewed. Why should we review? Because I mentioned just a few seconds back, to have a comprehensive idea. So to get a comprehensive idea or broader aspects of that particular area, on that particular area, the researcher or the scholar has to go through abundant review of literature which is related to his area of interest or the problem. And then research. And research means you have to, once you go through the abundant review of literature, and that a systematic research you can design, in the sense you have to identify the problem and you have to a statement of the problem. You can the problem you can identify on the basis of that research gaps you can identify once you go through the abundant literature which is available related to a particular topic. Once the gaps are identified, on the basis of gaps, you have to design or formulate the objectives, and then hypothesis you have to formulate, design, and then methodological issues also you have to adapt. All this information, limitations and all that, all this information as a researcher, you will come to know if you go through the literature, review of literature which is related to your study. Then only you can have an idea what are the methods that you have to adopt for your study, for your problem, or for your area of interest. So that is why literature review gives an excellent idea, excellent inputs to the researcher. That is one thing. And also information related to the study. You are not supposed to take unnecessary information which is not related to your study. You are confined, you have already drawn a particular area. So you are supposed to keep that area in your mind before when you are reviewing the studies, when you are going through the studies. And also a comprehensive idea that already I told you, it gives a comprehensive idea to the researcher or to the scholar. That is the advantage of reviewing plenty of literature. That is why abundant. If you can go through maximum number of review of literatures related to your particular topic, then you will get a lot of information, a lot of idea will be generated in the mind, and you will also it will enable you to conduct, when you are in the process of conducting the study, it will be easy for you. The literature review or review of literature will enable the researcher or make the researcher easy because you have a lot of knowledge on this subject area when you are going through related reviews. That is the point. And you have the structured systematic recap. It's nothing but the previous, as I mentioned a few seconds back, the previous information. For example, you have chosen a topic, poverty alleviation problem, poverty alleviation scheme, say for example, on so and so district, on so and so state, or on so and so particular areas you have to choose it. So on that area, any research studies are conducted earlier that you have to check it. And if they conduct, what are their inferences, findings that you have to go through, and what are the methods they have adapted that you have to go through. Once you go through those methods and the analysis part and the tools that they have used, methods they have adopted, you will come to know how they have designed and all that. And what are the gaps? What are the gaps in the sense left over? It is not possible to any researcher to give all, the entire solution of the problem cannot be given because the time constraints will be there. So definitely every researcher, when he conducts a study, definitely some areas will be left over. He can, because of the time constraints, as I mentioned. So keeping in view that, so time constraints, because of the time constraints, some of the areas will be left over. Now, what are those areas? As a researcher, we have to identify. So those leftover areas are nothing but are to be considered as gaps. Now, those gaps are important, as I mentioned, to formulate objectives. That we'll discuss in detail in the next slides. So it is published, unpublished work of documentation. That you have to publish it, unpublished work should be taken into consideration when you are reviewing it, pertaining to primary data and secondary data. That is one thing. In detail, I'll tell you what is primary data and what is secondary data. Primary data means it is directly you will get the information, first-hand information, in the sense you can get the information from the respondents, wherever, whichever area you are conducting a study, taking a particular group of people, the sufferers, or the people who are encountering certain problem. When you meeting them and collecting opinions by administering some questionnaire or schedule, then you will get certain opinions from them. So that is first-hand information. So that first-hand information called as will come under primary data. And the secondary data Yesterday, Professor Malyadri sir, I was there for some time, explained very nicely. Secondary data, all the books, journals, already published material should be taken into consideration, and you have to review it. What they told, what are their findings and all that, you have to check it. And you have to adapt, and you have to find out the gaps, all that. Then next you have concept of review of literature. In continuation to the previous slides, it summarizes the previous related studies. That's what I mentioned. And you have the review of literature categorizes, evaluate, critical analyzation. In the sense, review of literature, once you are going through the review of literature, you have to categorize. Certain studies may be good, you can find the adaptation of good methods and all that you have to make a note of it in a separate notebook that you have to maintain when you are reviewing literature review. You have to note it down, certain points and all that. And so the categorization is important. Categorization related to when you are categorizing the review of literature, which is related to your area, should be taken. And you have to observe what are the methods adopted in that, how the objectives are framed, what are the problem they are discussing about, right? And then what are the gaps they are talking about in their studies. All those things has to be noted down. So that will give you an excellent idea for the researcher for his research study. So that is the advantage. Again, you have the categorization, evaluate. Evaluate means once you go through it, once you collect certain information, you have to evaluate to what extent that context is suited to your context, to your area of study. That you have to evaluate, summarize, you have to evaluate it, and to what extent it is useful for you, and what are the similarities of you and the previous studies, that you have to check it. But the similarities are there. Say, for example, you are not supposed to take the same similarities because you are supposed to give a new thing. So that new things only can be generated if you can identify the gaps of the previous literature. So that is one thing. Next, critical analyze. Once you adopt certain methods and gaps and all that research questions, once you generate out of review of literature, then you have to analyze your collected opinions, either it is first-hand opinions or from the secondary data analysis, secondary data that has to be analyzed critically. This is what we call a systematic research, review of literature. Identifying the topic and its gap. That's already I told you. So gaps and the topic. Once you go through the abundant literature, then only you will come to know. The gaps are important. You have to identify the gaps. When you are going through the research review of literature, you are supposed to identify the gaps because you should talk about those gaps in your study. And you should formulate the objectives on the basis of the gap that you have identified in the previous studies. For that purpose, the gaps have to be identified systematically. You have to note it down on a book, in a notebook. That helps you a lot in formulating the objectives, hypotheses, and so on and so on. So that is our methods, what methods are to be adopted and all that. You cannot adopt according to your will and wish the methods. For every topic, for every area, there is a separate method only will be suitable on the basis of the collection of the data, on the basis of the nature of the data. There are certain methods you are supposed to apply. Then only inferences, analysis will come correctly. That is also you can get a knowledge out of review of literature. That is one thing. And you have the topic gaps. Already I have given you certain inputs. Examine present methodological related work previous researchers. That's what. Previous researchers, what are the methodological issues they have discussed in their studies. And now in your study, what you are going to adopt. how you are going to conduct, what are the methods that you want to apply, what are the similarities of your topic and the previous studies that you have to identify. But you have to take a lot of care that the same similarities should not be adopted and should not be interpreted in your analytical part or otherwise in your study. That is most important. It is to demonstrate the researcher knowledge. So once you get abundant knowledge out of review of literature, abundant literature review when you go to, then you will get a lot of knowledge. So that knowledge helps you, I told you already, that knowledge helps you to conduct systematically the research. There's many components, as I mentioned in the beginning, many components, all those components can be systematically arranged and systematically conducted stages wise. As a researcher, you can conduct it and you can get correct information, correct analysis, correct recommendation sessions at the end of the day you can give through your study. That helps to the people who are really sufferers of a particular problem. They will get benefit if those recommendations are implemented. So in such a manner, you as a researcher have to try to give inferences or findings from your study. For that, this review of literature helps to the researcher very, very important, significant. Next, review of literature helps in preparing research design. That's what I told you. Different methods will be there. You cannot, that's what I told you just a few seconds back. You cannot adopt the methodology according to your interest and all that. The nature of the data, the nature of the area of your study, that all those things you are supposed to take into consideration. Next, if you come to need and or significance and purpose of review, what is the purpose of this review of literature? To know the background of the study area. Yes, review of literature, if you go through abundant review of literature, the researcher or the scholar should go through to get a comprehensive idea. So that is why, for what purpose? Background of the study, the researcher will get when he goes through it. It's not somebody is suggested to take a particular review of literature and incorporate in your study if somebody says. You're not supposed to do it. Why? Because you have to go through it, because you have to get the knowledge out of it. And if you get the knowledge, then the analytical part and the data analysis, obtaining the information, first-hand information, you will come to know what type of information is required, how you have to get the information from the respondents and all that, you will come to know. So that the background study is very important. That background study, the researcher gets only through review of literature, if you go through it. Next, you have the conceptualization. First of all, the conceptualization should develop in the minds of the researcher. Unless you have the conceptualization of your area of interest, it is not possible. First of all, the researcher should have a clarity. What is the problem? Under the problem, you will have many concepts you are supposed to discuss. Keywords, that's what we tell. The keywords of your area to be identified. So on the basis of that, the keywords and the meanings of those keywords, also you have to have the knowledge of it. That only helpful. The review of literature only gives you that information. You can have that idea. Identify the focus area of research, focus research area. It is determine research problem. Definitely, the all things I just mentioned. It is identify keywords of the study area. That's what I told you. Keywords are very, very important. Keywords, scholars or researchers might have gone through many journals and the articles in open access journals and printed printed journals. You might have gone through many articles, research articles. So from out of it, what you will come to know, if you just observe the abstract, you will come to know what is the gist that they have, or what is the information that is going to discuss in the entire article. You will come to know. There's no need to verify the entire, the article. If you are interested, by going through the abstract. If it is interested, if it is useful for you, then you can go through the further all the article, you can review it. If it is not related, or if it is not interested, or it is not confined, it is not related to your topic, then you can skip from that article. So that means in the article or in any study, the keywords are very important. You have to identify the keywords on the basis of your problem, the problem that you have chosen. The keywords are to be generated, are to be developed, and you have to get awareness about it. So that is why the keywords are very important. To have the knowledge about it, and you have the research can present need of the research. What is the need? Why you want to conduct the study on that particular area? That you are supposed to express. You are supposed to present in your study. The significance. What is the significance of conduct of the particular area for research? So that also has to conduct the research. That also should be mentioned. The significance. So that only will come to know by the researcher if he goes through abundant or volume of review of literature. Next, you have identity data sources used by the other researchers. That's what I told you. In various studies, when you are going through or coming across, then definitely you will come to know what are the methods they have adopted. By using those methods, how they get the inferences and the analysis part and the findings, how they have given and all that. And the primary data, how they have analyzed. And based on that, what suggestions, recommendations at the end of the day, at the end of the study they have given or they have offered, all those things will come to know. Similarly, investigate the previous research so that once you going through it itself is an investigation. So that investigation will be made when you know certain things from the previous studies. Then you have to write it down. You have to simultaneously maintain a notebook and you have to write down when you are going through different studies, different journals, articles. You are supposed, whichever is related to your topic, you are supposed to note it down, all those things, so that it will be helpful for you at the time of your conduct of the study, or when you are preparing the report and all that. It will be helpful for you, and it will give a lot of knowledge, as I mentioned. Next, review of literature helps the researcher to make his study unique. Definitely, because you are finding gaps. When you are finding gaps, the gap itself is a unique. So because no other researchers left those areas, that is why it is called as a gap. So that gap, when you are taking up, carrying out and conducting a investigation, then definitely that will become a unique one. So this all will come through review of literature. That's what I told you in the beginning. Review of literature is the heart of the research. To conduct a good research, if you want to conduct a good research, then review of literature, if you neglect the review of literature, it's not possible for the researcher to conduct an effective study. That is very important. It presents the trend of the problem. Your study how to present the trends for the last so many years, 5 years or 10 years, whatever time period that you have taken. For example, if you take a 5 years of time period, 10 years of time period, for the last 5 years, 10 years, what is the trend of that particular problem is changing time to time, how the situations are changing, how the people are getting benefit or any difficult, what difficulties, what problems they are encountering, all those things in a trend manner, you can understand that. And you will come to know if you refer the previous review of literatures of previous researchers from their studies. And also, you will get a lot of inputs. That's what I told you in the beginning. You will come to know a lot of knowledge, comprehensive idea in preparing objectives and hypotheses, methods, right? And what are the tools that you have to use for analyzation. All these things, these are all inputs only, components, inputs that you will get it because of the review of literature when you systematically go through, which is related to your subject, related to your topic that you have chosen. That is one thing. Formulate hypothesis, that's what I told you, methodology, research design, techniques, analysis, all these things will come to know, to identify further research also. You also as a researcher, you also have to left certain things. You cannot conduct, you cannot go into the total problem, whole problem cannot be investigated. Certain areas you have to leave because time constraints, I told you. So that is why you have to leave. So whatever is left over from your study, that has to be called as a further research. Whoever wants to investigate in future, so these are the further research if you can present, then they can concentrate on that. And they will, if they're interested, they will conduct on those areas. That helps the further research to the future researchers. Next, you have functions of literature review. Basically, there are 4 functions. The review of literature will be there. Focus on previous research. Previous research will be focused, we discussed already. Shows how your study fills the gap, how gaps are to be filled. That will come to know by going through the review of literature. Necessity for your study. What is important for your study? That you can collect out of it. Sets boundaries, limitations. You have to frame the limitations also. Limitations means you are confined to a particular the problem confined to a particular area, particular district, particular villages, or some 4 or 5 villages, or 1 district, 1 state, like that. So that limitation, you have to set a boundaries of all that, because you cannot take the entire country or all the states like that. So that is why, on the basis of nature of your interest of area of the problem, you are supposed to set the boundaries. That is one thing. Next, review of literature, framing research questions. That's what I told you. The research questions can be framed on the basis of gaps. Gaps identification is first part. Once you identify the gaps, on the basis of that, you can generate on your topic, you can generate the research questions. Say, for example, what has been done before, what have others said, these are all can be answered in their, will be there, might have, you can go through, if you go through, you can identify all these things. What is the relevance of your present study? You want to conduct a study on so and so area, say, for example. So how those studies are relevant to your study? What is the difference? Agreements, disagreements, whether your study is agreed to the previous researchers' studies or not. If it is not agreeing, why they are not, what, under what areas, what components they are disagreeing, what components, what areas they are agreeing, what points they are agreeing, what points not agreeing. All these things will come to me. Similarly, are there flaw? Any gaps are there in the, definitely gaps will be there, as I mentioned, because it is confined to a particular area only. Definitely you can find the gaps and all that. And these are all things that you will come to know. Research history, your area research history also, you can draw the information out of it. Survey, university database, you can get. On the basis of that, you can frame the questions. The point is here, abstracts and all that, if you go through, what happens? Gaps can be identified related to your topic. And once you identify the gaps, you can generate the research questions. Because research questions are very important for framing the objectives. It is, one aspect is related to interlinked with the other aspects. That's what. So all these aspects will be fulfilled, will be satisfied when you go through the review of literature. That is why I told you it is heart of the research. Review of literature is the heart of the research. So that is why, because as I mentioned, is a comprehensive idea, a broader idea, a researcher, a scholar can get out of it. So that is one thing. Next, you have the literature review database for your research to identify different sources. Database also. The database nowadays is very important. Nowadays, database is available. Abundant database is available. Many different sources are available. The only thing is you have to identify what is related to your topic, what is related to your area of interest and all that. That you have to choose out of sources, and you have to invest. You have to go through it. You have to review it for having broader knowledge or broader idea on your area of interest. That is one thing. And next you have the research questions and keywords, as I mentioned, on the topic of your interest. That has to be there. Already I mentioned. Prepare list of journals. So you have to do one thing. You have to prepare a list of journals which are related to your area. Subject wise, the journals you can find nowadays in the online also. Access all majority journals are open access journals today. You can find out. For example, you are conducting a study which is related to banking area, broader subject, say for example. So what are the banking journals that you have or which are available? If you just go through, if you just identify in the Google, then you can find a list of, the abundant list of, the banking journals and all that. That you list out. What are the important journals that you have to, and that those are related to your topic. Then some important journals that you list out. Once you list out, then you have to go into the websites of those journals and you observe the articles in those journals. And articles which are, whatever articles are related to your topic, you just go through those articles. Okay, some of the articles in those journals are free access, and some of the journals you are supposed to get the permission from the authors and or otherwise the journal management and all that. So that is one thing. So prepare list of journals is related to your topic. That is one thing. View from experts. Another important point. To get a comprehensive idea, it's not that only reviewing the literature and all that. You are supposed to contact the experts. Experts means the people who are working the area in a particular area. Specialized people will be, because they have been working since so many years together. They have been working, say for example, some people. So you have to meet them. If you meet them, they are experts. They are called as experts. If you meet them, they will also give you a lot of inputs. They give you. So those inputs are very important because they are experienced people. Since they are working the last so many years on those areas. So that is why you need to contact them, consult them, get advices from them, and you have to note it down. That's what I told you now. To whomever you meet or whatever literature that you are going through, immediately you should maintain along with you a notebook. You are supposed to write all those things. Otherwise, later what happens, you may forget. Your source you have taken, from which source, from where, which journal or which book that you have taken, or from which expert you have taken. If you don't remember later stage, then it becomes very difficult. So that is why you are supposed to maintain a notebook with you when you are going to the literature review or any studies, or if you consult a expert or any people or colleagues, if you discuss your problem of area, if you discuss with them, if they are experienced people, they are supposed to note it. So all those notes will be helpful at the time of organizing your study. Next, we have the search in Google Scholar. Nowadays, you can search Google Scholar, Medline, ResearchGate, Shodhganga, Elsevier, and other sources are there for referring citations in the field of study. These are all the sources that you can search so that you can get abundant information. Next, you have sources of the literature. See here, in continuation to that, there are books, available books are the sources of review of literature, previous research papers. You can go through, as I mentioned just a few seconds back, popular media print, index, bibliographies, letters, diaries, empirical studies, memos, minutes, historical records, commercial papers, reports, right? And unpublished conference proceedings. These all can be taken. And you have the other side, government published scholarly journals, research reports, World Wide Web, encyclopedias, places, and the facts from various printed documents, theses, statistics, handbooks, data, manuscripts. All these things are the sources for review of literature for your pertaining to your study. Next, you have types of sources of knowledge. As I mentioned in the previous few minutes back, primary resources, secondary resources, tertiary resources. We have three types of resources. Yesterday also Professor Malyadri sir has explained very nicely about these three sources. Primary sources, you're all aware, original sources, information. I told you already, I mentioned, this information, data will be collected from the grassroots level, from the respondents directly, and it will be recorded through interviews, surveys, field work, by administering questionnaire schedule. By administering, we'll get the first-hand information from the grassroots level, from the respondents or from the beneficiaries. Secondary sources, say for example, you can collect information from various sources. The primary sources of somebody has conducted a study and you are reviewing that. It is a primary study to him. For you, it is secondary. So that has to be reviewed. Encyclopedias, textbooks, and books, articles that interpret, review research works. All those things you can go through it, and you can get excellent idea on your area of research. Tertiary sources list, compile, digest, or index primary, secondary sources like indexes, handbooks, right? And almanacs, government bulletins, for example, bank bulletins, Reserve Bank of India bulletins also. These are all can be go through. Next, critical search of the sources of review of literature. To create research questions, keywords are the basis of research. I mentioned already, whether the journal is well cited or not. When you select a particular journal, very important this is. When you select a particular journal, you need to, because you're a researcher, you want to conduct a good research. It's not that conducting some research and throwing it to somebody's on their face. It's not like that. It should be concrete and original. So how then it should become means the journal is well cited. You have to check it. Where the article is, when you are taking a source from a particular article, you have to observe that whether it is cited, how many citations are there for that, you have to observe. How many people have cited. On the basis of that, the article reputation we can identify. So that has to be checked in the journal, in a particular journal, in a particular article. If you want to see, or if you want to take the sources from it, you have to check the citations. The originality, citations shows the originality of the work of that particular journal article and all that. Check whether journal is peer reviewed. It's very, very important. You have to check. Peer reviewed means I am an author, I have sent an article to a particular journal. So nowadays, what predatory journals are there? Many predatory journals are there. Lot of headache. It is creating a lot of headache to the researchers, which is correct one, which is wrong one. Identification also very difficult nowadays. Why? Because predatory journals, if you send an article today and tomorrow it is placing in the journal, because it is open access. There is no review on your article. Your article will not sent for review. I think all of you might have known the double-blind double-blind peer reviewed and all that. Peer review is nothing but the journal. If when you send an article, that article will be sent for review purpose. It will take minimum 10 to 15 days. The reviewer will review it. He is an expert. So the journal management will send the article, your article, to that review people, 2, 3 people or 2 people they will send. And they will inform, they will review it and they will write the comments. If any modifications are there, again the journal management will back the article to you, and you have to modify it and you have to send it. Whatever queries they have put it in your article, you are supposed to modify it and send it. And then they will, if it is according to the reviewer's point of view, if you modify it, then it will be published. So that review process is very important. The journal, when you identify whether the journal is included in the review process or not, in the process of review or not, peer review is there or not. The peer review means it is already examined. The articles are examined and the originality of the article also examined, then they are published. That is what it means, the peer review journals. So that has to be checked. When you are getting these sources out of those articles or journals, check the journal's credibility. Credibility is also very, very important. Yesterday, Mr. Malayadri sir also, I think, explained about the credibility and all that. So credibility is important. Pediatric journals doesn't have any credibility. If you send an article, immediately they will publish. That's what I told you just now. So since how long the journal is running about, and what are the articles, what type of articles they are publishing, and the impact factor of that particular journal, and all those things you have to check it. Credibility, then that shows credibility of the journal. That also has to be checked because you have to take certain sources out of those journals under the review of literature. So if you don't check all these things, what happens? Your sources will become waste. It is not credible. Your research work will not be considered as a credible work. That's what. Next, assessment of the sources. So you have to assess. Another important point is you have to assess the sources. Abstract-based assessment. That's what in the beginning I told you. There is no need to go through the entire, the article. In the first hand information, in the first instance, you're just, if you go through the abstract, then you will come to know whether it is appropriate or not for your study. So that is why that has to be checked. Abstract. Check the theoretical framework of the article in the journal. Theoretical framework has to be checked. What are the theoretical, how the theoretical framework is designed and all that has to be checked when you are getting the sources out of it. Check the results, whether unbiased or not. Unbiased results should be there. It's not, it should not be, the study should not be biased. That also has to be checked when you are reviewing the literature for taking as a source for your study. Check the relevance of the sample size. Sample size also the relevance. What is the area of study and how much sample that you have chosen. That also should be checked. The relevance of the samples. And keep all these things you have to check in the review of that either particular study or in the journal article. Keep sources from where you are obtaining to make the bibliography. Analytical observations. When you are going through literature, analytical observation also in discussion part, result part, you have to go through very thoroughly so that that helps you, that knowledge helps you in the preparation of your study. Prepare simultaneous note, remembering, interpret later. That is what I told. You are supposed to maintain simultaneous notebook when you are going through the literature. Next, structure and organization of organizing the reviews. We will go a little bit faster because the time already it is 7 o'clock. Another 15-20 minutes minimum question and answer session will be there. So a bit faster whatever points are easier, just I will go a bit faster. Structure, individual sections integrating all inputs of these sections of the study. So structure means in the sense there are different sections will be there. The objectives, hypothesis, and the methodological issues and all that. These sections, individual sections, are to be integrated. How it has been integrating in the review of literature of a particular study or particular article and all that. You have to structure has to be identified. Structure has to be identified, recognized, and on the basis of that, you will get an idea to incorporate accordingly in the same style. You can incorporate. That helps a lot. Introduction, idea of the topic, body, discussion of the sources related to the topic, conclusions, recommendation. This is what we call structure. What we have mentioned in the previous slides. So in this order, you are supposed to design. In this, you are supposed to present in the report. Next, you have organization. How to organize one by one. Get latest published material. You have to get latest information. It's not that some year back, some way back, 25 years or 30 years information. Latest information, some 10 years or maximum to 15 years, so that you can analyze the situations effectively. And identify relevant documents published, unpublished, that's already we discussed. Critical evaluate summary of existing work, already discussed. It can be some general and scientific conclusions about the work are done to date on the topic. So it is only possible when you go through the literature review of literature, so that you can have an idea how you have to interpret your data and all that, how you have to analyze the data, and what are the methods that you have to exercise or deploy. That everything you will come to. Avoid old published material. That's very important. Way back information is nowhere related to the present study area of your study. That is why. Avoid plagiarism. Plagiarism nowadays is very important. Plagiarism, you are not supposed to copy the literature review of literature of a particular study. You are not take the as it is. You have to go through the review of literature and you have to understand the theme of that, and on the basis of that you have to mention the source in your work. Next, you have use paraphrasing and all that. Paraphrasing yesterday you discussed, you have listened. And use scholarly.com. These are all very important sources that you have to use for quality work, Chronological method, period, time also should be mentioned, to what extent, where you have to start and where you have to end. The period also, time period also should be mentioned. Perspective of, you have to mention, first of all, you have to go through in the sources, so that you will come to know about the idea of those things. And a qualitative or quantitative method wise identifying group accordingly can organize. So the qualitative one or quantitative one, your data is related to. So that has to be identified when you go through the review of literature. You can identify that, and you can accordingly you can design your work, and can be conducted, and can put it in analysis part and all that. Then it will become effective, thematic or topic wise. Next, you have methods of writing review of literature. A little bit faster I'll go, because the time we are running out of time. Catalog method, what had happened, what others found, and his interpretation, that you have to identify. That will come under catalog method, review of literature, under basically two methods: catalog method and dialogue analysis method. Asking under dialogue method, asking and answering queries, analyzing, interpreting the reading and all that. And you have to write down those things out of first-hand information. So basically, these two things are important for getting the information or data from the different sections of the people or different areas. Writing review of literature with a critic. So you can identify what are the critical analysis that is made in the previous studies. So for example, limitations of this study. When you are going through a particular study, what are the limitations they have mentioned in their studies? You have to observe it, you have to note it down. It might more illustrative and broad. It could be more solutions oriented. So all these things you are supposed to concentrate. You are supposed to recognize and identify it. Then you will go through it. Then you will get a good idea, knowledge about it. Strengths and weakness of the study to be addressed. So for your topic, for your study, on the basis of the knowledge that you have gained from past reviews of past studies or past work, you can effectively present the strengths of your study. You can present, and what are the weaknesses, what are left over. I told you now that because of time constraints, some areas may be naturally any researcher can be neglected, will neglect it. So those will be considered as weaknesses. These things are to be addressed effectively. While writing the review of literature, do's and don'ts. There are certain do's and don'ts. Very simple point. These are all. Under that, you are supposed to do these things. Current state of knowledge on the proposed research area has to be taken. That has to be taken into consideration. It is easy to understand and comprehensive on the study area. Your study should be easily understood. Research at the end of the day, people have to understand your research inferences or findings should be helpful to the society. So if it is easy to understand, then it will be easy to implement it. So that is why any research should be disseminated, and it should be easily, the people should understand it, should exercise it. And then ultimately at the end of the day, they have to come out of the problem. That is the ultimate goal. So it should be structured, one is a theme based. You have to structure, we have already discussed, in a structured manner. You are supposed to design, and you are supposed to conduct this study. So these are all knowledge you will get through review of literature only. So it should categorize, evaluate, analyze this. We have already, I told you how you have to categorize related to confined to your study and all that, evaluate and analyze the works that are already done previously that has to be, these are the things that you have to incorporate in the, or should be taken into consideration as do's. While writing review of literature, don'ts, so what things that you are not supposed to mention is, it's not list of books. It's not the point that you have to give a list of books. It's not just a description of in so-and-so book, this is the description. It's not the point. What is the significance in that? What is the finding of that particular study? That is very important. And not like, I believe these are the words are not supposed to use in the constructing the review of literature and all that. Next, you have record your reading. Recording is very important. So the author or author's name should be recorded first, the title of the paper, report or book, the date of publication, right? This is the sequence that you have to maintain. If it is a book or report, the publisher and the place of the publication has to be mentioned in the sequential, in the same sequential order. If it is chapter, say for example, in an edited book, the title and the edited book and the page numbers of the chapter has to be mentioned. And in the latter stage again, if it is a paper in a journal, the title of the journal, volume and issue number and pages also. This is the sequential order you are supposed to write the, record the review of literature. If it is a website URL also, if it is a website nowadays, open access URL, that URL you copy and paste it. So that people can understand from this URL. If they click it, then immediately it will open and they will come to know from this sources he has taken the source as for his study, like the people can understand. So you have mentioned at the end of the review of literature, you are also, if it is there. Next, we are coming to last. Language arrangement is also very, very important. Review of literature, when you are writing a review of literature, when you are going through it, this shows that you are supposed to use these words. This shows that this calls attention to, like that. This importance or significance, this signifies like that. You have to use the word so that it is impressive and it is correct also. What this means that, like that, you have to, when you are interpreting, analyzing the data, when you're interpreting, you are supposed to use these things. And when you are writing the review of literature for your study, you are supposed to use this, these phrases and all that. And it's a pointing that, like that. So these are the important language that you are supposed to keep in mind in making arrangement of the sources from you are adopting from various sources, the journals or books or anywhere like that. So this is about. Next you have, thank you. This is a brief information. Even then I took it is 7:15 now almost, and I took almost 1 hour. I may be crossed, say, I think I may be crossed 1 hour, the time that has given. And we can talk many things on this, many things, and there's so much of information also. That's what I told in the beginning, 2 hours, even 3 hours also on review of literature, we can talk in detail. But because of the time constraints here also, we already discussed about the time constraints and all that for conducting any research like that. Here also in the session, we can discuss so many things, but because of the time constraint, very important points that I have placed before you. I hope this information, these inputs will be definitely helpful for all of you, and maybe the recorded information also will be given by the organizers to all the participants. And thank you very much. And if any questions or comments, you are most welcome. You can pose any questions or any submissions also if you want to submit anything, or if you want to give any information also, very nice. I'm also here to learn from you people also, no problem. And if any questions, you are welcome to ask the question. Thank you very much. Thanks all the organizers and participants for giving me this excellent opportunity. Thank you. Over to organizers. Yarma madam.
Thank you, sir, for the informative session. And now is the question session. If participants having any question, so they can ask from the speaker. Any question from the participant guys? Hello.
Yeah, please.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes,
I'm
yes,
Shruti
please
from
ask.
Bangalore. This is to sir. Sir, when we are writing a research paper, we will write the literature review. And you have explained about review of literature paper. Is there any difference between the research paper and review of literature paper?
Review of literature paper, you are talking about the article and thesis, huh?
Generally, a research paper, an article.
Okay.
Yes.
Doesn't matter whether it's a research paper or thesis, whatever it is, but the writing of review of literature is same, one and the same. There is no difference between the review of literature, writing for review of literature and thesis is not different. The writing of review of literature is not different in paper. In wherever, whether it is a research paper or the thesis, whatever it is, but writing of review of research, review of literature is same, one and the same. There is no difference at all. But the only thing is, if it is a paper, if it is a research paper, if it is a, yes, please let me conclude. If it is a research paper, better you take the latest reviews on the topic which is related to you. Latest reviews if you take, so that what happened, the trend I explained when I am explaining when I was explaining the slides trend, I explained about the trend. So the trend is very important. The time period is very important for correct analysis and all that. So that is the latest review of literature if you take on the, that depends upon the nature of the study and nature of the problem, nature of the study also, nature of the area of interest that you have chosen. But better you have to take the relevant and latest review of literature, so that it will be, you can analyze in a better way. Next, please. Good question.
Thank you, sir.
Very good.
Hello, next question is tertiary sources are also considered as one of the secondary sources for the, what is the necessity to separate them?
I didn't get you. Please once again, please repeat.
Sir, one question from Shri Devi.
Yeah.
Territory sources are also considered as one of the secondary sources. What is the necessity to separate them?
You know, from whichever sources that you are taking the information, that you are supposed to, whether it is secondary source or primary source, whatever it is, whether it is secondary source or primary source, you are supposed to, when you are collecting or taking the information about the information related to your topic, you are supposed to mention it. You are supposed to write it in a sequential order in the literature review. If it is related to your topic, that is compulsory. Next, please.
Next question.
Good evening, sir. I am Shri Krishna. I am Shri Krishna from Mumbai.
Oh, very good.
My domain is mathematical sciences.
Okay.
And right now I am in my initial stage of research.
Yeah.
Okay, so for me, review of literature review is very important, and most of my doubts are cleared.
Yeah.
But I have one very fundamental doubt.
Please.
While doing this literature review, is there any hard and fast rule ki I have to refer minimum 10 papers or so like this? Is there any hard and fast rule? The number of papers to be referred?
Yeah, you asked a good question. There is no such hard and fast rule. Why? Because, as I mentioned in the beginning, you have to, the purpose of the review of literature is to get a comprehensive idea on the topic that you have chosen, on the topic, the area that you have chosen to conduct research. The idea of the review of literature is to have a comprehensive idea, to comprehensive knowledge on the subject that you have chosen to conduct a research or to conduct investigation on a particular area. So the idea is that So when that is the idea, what you are supposed to do, you are supposed to, there's no hard and fast rule. You have to go through only 25 reviews or 50 reviews or 100 reviews. It is up to you. There is no hard and fast rule. Only 100 you have to study, only 50 you have to study, only 2 only you have to study. It's not like that. Whatever number of studies or number of review of literatures that you are going through, then what happens automatically, you will get a lot of knowledge on different components of the research. In the process of research, conduct of research, you will get a lot of knowledge. So that knowledge ultimately helps you for better conduct of the research with regard to your topic. That is the important. That is the purpose of going through the research, the review of literature. So that is why I advise all of you, those who are in the process of doing PhD, you have to go through a lot of review of literature so that you will get a lot of the knowledge. That knowledge is very important for a smooth conduct of your own study, for a smooth conduct of your PhD and all that. So because it gives a lot of the information. So that information enables you very easy to conduct your work, to complete your work. That is why there is no hard and fast. Thank you. Excellent question.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Any other questions? Any other question from the participants?
Or you can, if you want my phone number, this thing also, the WhatsApp number also, the same is the WhatsApp number. Anybody, if you want, you can ask me by WhatsApp or by mail also. I will be access with you. I'm ready to help to all the people, whoever is in the process of doing PhD and all that. Or otherwise, if you want to ask now you're most welcome. Anything. I'm ready to help.
Sir, I think no question from the participants.
Yeah, okay. Good.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Thanks a lot.
On the behalf of Genesis of Education Impression, thank you very much, sir. And from the participant side also, thank you very much, sir.
Thanks a lot, madam, for giving me this opportunity.
Welcome, sir.
You have continuously, because the way that you are, yesterday and today also, I have been seeing about the way that you are organizing. It's very excellent. And today, what I observed is there is no interruption. Yesterday there was a small interruption, but today
I solved, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, you have conducted very nicely. I am really thankful to you for giving me this opportunity. Thanks a lot for all the participants also. I'm grateful to all the participants and to the organizers also. Thank you very much.
Sir. Thank you, sir.
Thanks a lot.
And tomorrow meeting will be the same
time.
Thank
you so much, sir. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.
And tomorrow meeting will be the same time, 6 p.m. And the same user ID and password will be there with you. And you can join at sharp 6 p.m. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you all
so much, sir.
Thank you,
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you so much. Thank you, sir.
Thank you all.